What's going on, guys? Jezzi here with, well, obviously me and one traders. Uh, it has been a while since I posted a video. I've just been dealing with a whole bunch of personal things, things I'd like to knock out before I start, uh, getting back more on the, like, social media grind, even though I know it's all about, like, consistency, but, there's certain things you gotta I don't know how to explain it, but whatever. Anyway, um, just because I stopped posting on socials a little bit, doesn't mean I haven't not been trading. I have still continued trading, and it's actually going better than ever. I am extremely happy with how I have been trading. I'm very patient with everything, obviously, like how it should be, yada yada yada. But you know, you're always it's a never-ending book. You're always learning new things, and you know you can know you can think you know everything, and then you find out you need to understand 10 more things. And as you continue going through that same patch of just, oh, I need to focus more on this and that, it adds up, and then you just really start understanding things. It's kind of hard to put it into words. I didn't really prepare to make this video at all. It is 2 in the morning, but whatever. I just wanted to review some of my trades from this week. So this was on Tuesday. This one was sent out live, as you can see here. Call scalp here, SPX, boom, right here, sent that out here. And then I'm just like scrolling through like my call out section. It's all like the full walkthrough is in the general chat, and then I just kind of post everything into call outs. As you can see here, set my trim at this previous resistance here, and that is where I took my trim. The fills on this trade were 6.60 to $1.40. If you don't know what options is, it basically gives you the option to hypothetically place a bet, in simplest terms, even though that makes it sound like it's gambling, but it's the most simple way to explain it to people so it kind of clicks in their head. Call it what you want. It's all about how you manage your risk. And if you don't know how to, and if you can't understand that, then obviously you would think it's gambling. But that's what separates people who know how to do this and people who don't know. Whatever. So yeah, purchased these contracts for 60 cents, sold them at $1.40. So that's about 130% return on this trade. And as you can see, it wasn't a crazy huge move, but it was on SPX, and SPX is much more volatile than QQQ, so the returns are going to be much more significant with a smaller move. But you also got to understand that if the trade is going against you, you're going to lose just as much. So SPX is all about your entries. It's definitely not a stock that you should trade immediately. Focus more on like QQQ, like like smaller variants of QQQ or smaller variants of SPY. Get a lot of market experience with those, and then you can, test your chest hairs with SPX, because SPX will ruin your day. It'll, if you don't know what you're doing, it will ruin you, or whatever. Just, have basic market experience before you get into it. So, got into this SPX pop here, formed a slight double bottom on this and previous support. As you can see right at this level here, caught support here, caught a second support here. We have this rejection off of this initial support. We can see it with this like not a doji candle, but a very long wick. This just signifies that it came down here, did not like this zone at all, and it rejected right back up with a strong bullish move, almost a full bullish engulfing candle to this previous drop. So obviously the buyers aren't going to be this wasn't a demand zone. This wasn't a marked demand zone. So the buyers, well, once you get that initial pop, it's going to take time for, price to really form that base and then, you know, pop back up again. So always anticipate a retest if the volume isn't strong. If the volume wasn't strong, always wait for a retest. As you can see, waited for that retest, sent the signal out there, call scalp here, SPX. As you can see, it's literally sent out live, 3:26 p.m., 3:26 p.m. It's live. Back to the chart. Got into this call scalp here, set my trim at this resistance here, hit, trimmed out. That was my first trade that I'm going on. I took probably, I think, 7 or 8 trades. I think I lost one of them. I just got to go through. I keep a log of every single trade. But that was like the first one that I'm going to review. I'm going to review a few more. I'm just going to scroll through them. So that was on Tuesday. On Wednesday, or the 8th, was the Thursday. Okay. So on Thursday, obviously here, scalping QQQ puts to pre-market high, sent the contract here, the 490 puts QQQ. This is obviously sent live. 145, 145, obviously sent live. This was on QQQ. I trade QQQ and SPX. Those are the two stocks I trade. So I was on the 5-minute when I took this entry, so definitely got caught into some consolidation. Because volume was low coming out of lunchtime. You know, 12:30 to 1:30 is typically lower volume because it's like lunch hour for Wall Street. So the volume is low. Sometimes there is a big move, but typically it's just mostly consolidation. So I'm going to go to the 1 minute, and that was on the 8th. So here, obviously you can see scalping QQQ puts here to pre-market high. The pre-market high was right here. Had that level drawn out with this line. I just like to mark my levels with lines. Tough rejection. The rejection back up was on decreasing buy volume. So that's basically insinuating that there is a strong support, but that buy volume for the rejection back up is decreasing. So the buyers are getting weaker, and it just needs a little bit more time for the sellers to step in. Obviously, post lunch, it's going to take time for more volume to come in. Tough rejection here on decreasing volume. Patience, don't stress. I'm like sending this out live. Trimming out because it broke the pre-market high. Boom. I was obviously happy about that. Set my, price, you know, hypothetically did come out of my stop loss like zone, but like I don't trade like exactly bases off these zones. If it does wick out, I'm not stressing. Well, I'm not stressing at all. If I lose a trade, I lose a trade. I'm not going to close out the position unless it holds above this level here. I take trades based off breaks of levels. So if we look on the 3-minute here, I'm going to have to go back to it. If we look at the 3-minute here, we have a strong level of support here. Support. So now it's acting as a resistance. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, almost 20 minutes of just straight rejection here. Oh, excuse me. 20 minutes of straight rejection here on this resistance as a previous support. So this is a tough level for it to break. And as the sellers are stepping in, you can see with the sell volume getting stronger, buy volume getting weaker, sell volume getting stronger, final retest. Still, buy volume is weak, sell volume increases again. So, and this is considered like a head and shoulder for people who like to call patterns and whatnot, but I don't necessarily like to use patterns, but you know, some like double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulders, they're all good, but as long as the volume matches up with it. I trade strictly based off of levels, volume, and price action. So yeah, sent out that trade around here. I think it was on the 5-minute. Set my stop to this low here. As you can see, it wicked out, but it was unable to hold above this level and immediately dropped, putting those contracts back in profit and these did 0.55 to 84 cents. Let me do the math on that. So about 52% on that trade. Not bad. And what was this like? I don't say. 2 p.m. from 1:40 from 15-minute trade. 15-minute, 20-minute trade. 52%. As many, I'm not going to show you how many contracts because then you can just calculate how much I made, and I don't like to share that information, but I just like to show my percentages because percentages are way more impressive than profits. So that was another trade. That was QQQ. 52% on that. Yesterday, okay, so I took 2 trades yesterday, which for me is this morning because it's still the same day, but it's the next day technically. Okay, so boom. This is today, right? Yes, it is. Okay, so this is the trade that I took in the morning. As we can see, price dumped off early. Also, my mentor sent out a 10+ point Tesla move this morning in our group. You can go check it out at 1of1 Traders on Instagram. That was pretty crazy. I think it did about 515%. That was sent live before market opened, actually. Anyway, so you can see QQQ call scalp here. Sent it at 11:45. Maybe the minute changed. 11:45 and 11:46, same 30 seconds off. Boom, 11:46, it's popping. I'm just continuously sending out fully, as you can see right here with my line. These typically are my entries and my trims, as you can see, entered here, trimmed out here. Basic scalp here again. Price dropped, formed that double bottom. We previously saw this on the SPX pop. It's the same thing. Volume matched here. We have a big, strong bearish candle with a weak sell volume. So that's just insinuating a fake out or a retest. That's a great way to be able to identify them. Again, increasing buy volume on this slight pop up. Again, anticipate another retest. See if this candle breaks that initial low. Is unable to hold strong above that initial support and breaks back above this candle high, and that is where I take my entry. These contracts did 31%, and then I called out an SPX scalp. I called out an SPX scalp later on in the day. This wasn't a huge move, but later on in the day, SPX, if you get these contracts to move, they're gonna go. This position did, I gotta find it. This position did about 25%, but the thing is, in less than a minute, and how many contracts, it can add up real quick. But again, with the SPX, end of the day, you gotta be quick and you can't be greedy. SPX moves very fast. You gotta utilize hotkeys. Hotkeys on Thinkorswim, very important thing. So let me go to it. You can see price breaks back above this high here, retests, big rejection here, a weaker bullish candle here, unable to break this low. I caught this calls pop here. I wasn't in it for long, broke back above this previous bearish candle, and that is where I took my trim. Quick move, nothing crazy. I sent it out live. I'm going to find it really quick. As you can see here, in this rejection here, SPX... 56.85 calls, entered at 0.11, 1.40, trimming out at 1.75, out, quick pop. You do the math on that. But yeah, so those were the few trades that I took this week. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you have any more questions, go check out our Instagram, 1of1 Traders. All of our trades are posted there, and you can go check it out for yourself. Also, you can go to our website at 1of1traders.com. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your night.